Ever worry about, like, your kids and how much time they're spending online?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we all know, right? The internet can be a total rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But what if, uh, what if that rabbit hole leads to something way darker?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously scary stuff.
Yeah.
So today we're diving into a case
Okay.
that is going to send chills down your spine.
Mm.
It's the Amato family murders.
Oh, wow.
You guys sent a huge true crime podcast episode, and it details this whole horrific event,
Okay.
and we're going to unpack it all,
Right.
piece by chilling piece.
Sounds good.
I mean, this case is truly a stark reminder that the digital world can be a breeding ground for obsession,
Yeah, definitely.
and in extreme cases like this one, real tragedy.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about what seems like an ordinary family in Florida,
Right.
just shattered by this web of lies and addiction,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately murder.
Okay.
So let's start at the beginning with Grant Amato.
Okay.
He grew up in a loving home close to his brother Cody,
Yeah.
and they both even dreamt of becoming nurses. Sounds pretty normal, right?
Yeah, it does. Very much so.
But the podcast really details how Grant's life takes this dark turn.
Oh, okay.
He gets expelled from nursing school. He loses his job at Advent Health after being caught stealing propofol.
Wow.
And his online activity just starts to consume him.
Oh, no.
And that's where Sylvia comes into the picture.
Okay.
She was a Bulgarian cam girl on this website where Grant was spending an unbelievable amount of time and money.
Oh, wow.
We're talking like $600 a night just to interact with her for 4 hours.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And so for folks who might not be familiar with these types of sites,
Right.
they operate on like a token system. You purchase tokens to spend on interacting with the performers.
So it's kind of like a virtual casino.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like you're using these tokens for direct engagement,
Yeah.
you're sending virtual gifts, and it's all designed to keep you hooked and spending.
So it really is like a video game, but with real world consequences.
Yeah, and it creates this feedback loop that preys on our natural desire for connection and reward.
Right. Right. Makes sense.
And for Grant, it just completely spiraled out of control.
Oh, no.
The podcast describes him showering Sylvia with gifts like clothes, even intimate items,
Oh, wow.
all funded by stealing over $200,000 from his family.
Gosh, that's awful.
I mean, imagine discovering your own son, someone you raised and loved, has been siphoning your life savings to fuel this online obsession.
I can't even imagine. That's just heartbreaking.
The Amato family was devastated. They tried everything they could to pull Grant back from the brink.
Like what? What did they do?
They confronted him about the spending.
Okay.
They tried family therapy.
Oh, okay.
But Grant was just deep in denial. He was spinning all these lies, saying he was promoting himself on Twitch.
So he wasn't being honest with them at all.
No.
That's really sad.
And his brother Cody, even after he discovered the theft, still continued to try and help Grant.
Oh, wow.
The podcast even mentions Cody paying for a trip to Japan for the two of them, hoping to get Grant away from the computer and maybe reconnect his brothers.
Yeah, that's nice of him. Poor Cody.
Cody's actions really do speak volumes about the power of family loyalty.
Definitely.
But unfortunately, the trip didn't solve the underlying issues.
Oh, so it didn't work?
No. When they got back home, the tension just continued to escalate. The arguments over Grant's joblessness,
Right.
his refusal to cut ties with Sylvia,
Yeah.
it all reached a boiling point when Grant stormed out after a particularly heated exchange with his father. The family, fearing for his safety, even filed a missing persons report.
Oh, wow. So they were really worried about him. So things went from bad to worse, right?
No.
When Grant starts stealing from his extended family, too.
Oh, no.
That's when, like, his parents knew they had to do something drastic.
Yeah.
They needed a bigger intervention. So picture this, okay? A tense family dinner, right?
Oh, boy.
At California Pizza Kitchen, Chad, Grant's dad, he lays down the law.
Okay.
No more internet after midnight, get a job, pay the bills, repay all that money, go to therapy, apologize to everyone.
Wow.
And the biggest thing, right, cut off all contact with Sylvia.
That's a big one.
It's like this, big ultimatum.
Yeah.
Chad even wrote it all down.
Oh, wow.
He called what Grant was doing family relationship abuse beyond tolerance.
That's heavy.
It's just like you could feel the desperation there, right?
Yeah.
This plea for Grant to just like wake up
Yeah.
and see the damage he's doing.
Tough love.
Yeah.
But, I mean, was it too little too late? You know,
Right.
at this point, Grant's so deep in this online world.
Yeah.
He's so fixated on Sylvia.
Mm.
Can he even, like, understand what's happening in the real world?
I mean, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
The podcast actually includes this letter
Okay.
that Grant wrote to his online friends, where he's basically saying his family's trying to control him
Oh, wow.
and that he's super desperate over this whole ultimatum thing.
So he's not taking it well.
No, not at all.
He just can't imagine life without Sylvia.
It's just like chilling, you
Yeah.
know? To read this letter,
Yeah.
it just shows how detached from reality Grant's become.
Yeah.
He's seeing his family trying to help as like an attack,
Oh, wow.
a threat to who he is now.
Yeah.
Because who he is tied to Sylvia.
It's like he's wrapped up in this fantasy.
Yeah, totally. The classic example of addiction warping your perception,
Great.
creating this false reality
Yeah.
where the obsession is everything, more
Yeah.
important than anything else.
Even family.
And that leads us to, you know, the horrible thing that happened.
Oh, no.
January 25th, 2019. Cody doesn't show up to work at Advent Health.
Right.
No, Cody, he was known for being reliable, right?
Yeah.
So his coworkers, they're sensing something's wrong.
Of course.
They call for a wellness check. At the Amato house,
Oh, okay.
and when the deputies get there,
Yeah.
what they find
Yeah.
is like straight out of a nightmare.
I can't even imagine.
Chad was shot, execution style,
Oh, my God.
in the kitchen.
Oh, no.
Cody, in the storage room, shot in the face.
Oh, that's awful.
And Margaret, Grant's mother, she was in her office,
Oh, no.
also shot in the back of the head.
It's too horrible.
No, it's just, it's brutal.
Yeah.
The podcast mentions handguns near Cody and Chad,
Yeah.
but there's no signs of a struggle or forced entry.
So it seemed planned.
Yeah, like a cold, calculated act.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found.
Oh, no.
But they eventually find him at a DoubleTree hotel in Orlando,
Okay.
and they bring him in for questioning.
Right.
But his story's full of holes.
Oh, really? Like what?
He says he ran into Cody earlier that day,
Okay.
which is impossible because Cody was at work.
Right.
He's denying seeing any police near his house,
Yeah.
even though he drove through the neighborhood. Oh, wow.
Just this desperate attempt at an alibi
Yeah.
that just falls apart. And
Yeah.
what gets me right
Yeah.
is he's not even worried about his family.
Oh, wow.
There's no concern, no urgency, nothing.
Like they were already gone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's creepy.
So later, there's this confrontation between Grant and his older brother, Jason.
Okay.
Super emotional.
Well,
Jason just, like, can't believe that Grant's denying everything.
Of course.
And he asks this chilling question, right?
Oh, no.
What if I had been home that day, Grant? Would I be dead too?
That's a heavy question.
It's just like raw grief. And
Yeah.
then realizing that your own brother
Yeah.
is responsible.
Can't even imagine.
And Grant, he has no answer.
Oh, wow.
No remorse, no emotion.
But he's still detached.
Completely.
And then the murder weapon,
Right.
that was the final nail in the coffin, right?
Yeah, it really was.
It was an IWI Jericho 941 pistol,
Okay.
traced back to Grant's best friend.
And it turns out Grant was alone in his friend's bedroom
Oh, no.
where the gun was
Oh, wow.
just weeks before the murders. So they had the murder weapon. His alibi was falling apart.
Right.
And he shows no remorse.
Yeah.
So the prosecution's case
Uh-huh.
was pretty airtight.
Definitely.
They argued that Grant's motive was to just get rid of his family, inherit the money, and be with Sylvia.
Makes sense.
No more obstacles.
And, you know, it wasn't like just some fling.
Right.
Grant had spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on this.
I know.
In his mind, she was the answer, right? Like
Yeah.
his escape from the real world.
It's like he built this fantasy world.
Yeah.
And his family,
Mhm.
they were in the way.
It's like almost like a video game, you know, where there's no consequences. But
Yeah.
the jury, they saw through it.
Yeah.
They didn't buy his denials.
Oh,
Guilty
yeah.
on all 3 counts.
Wow.
First-degree murder,
So what happened?
life in prison,
Wow, parole.
no parole,
That's rough.
justice, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't bring them back.
No, of course not.
And it can't heal the pain for the family.
And what's really disturbing, right,
Yeah.
is even after the trial, Grant's still fixated on Sylvia.
Oh, wow.
The podcast says he was trying to get his parents' life insurance money,
Oh.
probably to keep giving her money.
It's just like mind-boggling.
Yeah.
This horrible thing happens.
Yeah.
And he still thinks she's waiting for him.
He's delusional.
Totally.
I mean, this case just, like, leaves me feeling sick.
Yeah.
It's like, the internet's so great,
Right.
but it can be so dangerous, too.
Especially for vulnerable people,
Yeah,
looking for an escape.
exactly.
So, what did we learn today? I mean, internet addiction, it's real,
It is.
and it can be a huge problem.
Yeah.
It might not always end in violence, but it can be devastating.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in this case, I encourage you to learn more about it. Look into internet addiction, the warning signs,
Absolutely.
the resources that are available.
It's important to have those tough conversations
Yeah,
with your loved ones
absolutely.
if you see something's wrong.
Okay, so to wrap up,
Yeah.
the internet's amazing, right?
It is.
But you got to find a balance.
Yes.
You got to be mindful of the time you spend online.
Yeah, the content you consume.
Yeah.
How it affects you.
Right. And your
The
relationships.
people that matter most.
Exactly.
So stay vigilant, stay informed, stay connected to the real world.
That's great advice.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It was great being here.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.